Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm joking. I'm not from... Was that Birmingham or London? God knows. Anyway, hello guys. My name is Ryan, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about being in the band versus being solo. So just a little bit of a background, guys. I've done both. When I was about to say a lot younger. I'm only 27.
We are so old.
When I was a little bit younger, I ventured into doing some band stuff. Was in a band, did a little mini UK tour. Went a decent way, I'd say. That band particularly wasn't for me. Obviously, I've had other bands before and after that. And I've also ventured into a solo project, which if you guys have followed me for a while, you would know that I've released my own music and covers and all that sort of stuff. So basically what I'm going to do today, guys, is delve into the good, the bad and the ugly. In other words, I'm going to give 5 pros for being in a band and 5 pros for being a solo artist. And yeah, essentially, hopefully that'll give you the substance to make a decision which is perfect for you guys. So anyway, without further ado, I'm being a bit weird. Let's move on. So we're going to start with the band. The band side of things, should I say. So the first pro to a band is splitting the costs. So essentially, one of the common themes we're going to be exploring today for both is finances. It's no secret that in a band you split the cost with 4 or 5 other people, or maybe 3 if you're a 3-piece. It's a lot cheaper, and by a lot cheaper I mean it is drastically cheaper. You know, PR campaigns, for example, you're looking at about £1,000 a pop for kind of like an entry-level kind of campaign. You split that down the way with 4 people, it's £250 each, as opposed to £1,000, which you've got to put out your own pocket. You know, there is a lot of pros in the finance side of things when it comes to being in the band, and that is why I've said it first. It's the biggest thing. The costs are mental in it when being a solo artist. It's so much better in a band, and even in a band it's quite expensive anyway. It's obviously a finance that you need to factor into your lives. So the next thing as well is creative collaboration. This is point number 2. So yeah, creative collaboration. So essentially, you are always around people, you're always got that kind of feedback from other people. You know, whether do you like this chorus hook, what could be different, you know, or even if you're challenging them, you know, like you're not a great guitarist, for example, but you think, oh, it'd be really cool if instead of doing this it did this, and it transitions that way, you know, using the kind of songwriter kind of approach to, you know, collaborating with your bandmates. Now, don't get me wrong, not everyone wants to collaborate on their own instrument. There are some bands where it's like, I'm going to write my bit, you write your bit, and that's that. Which, personally, I get it, but I think it's better to be open to constructive criticism. Anyway, so there is that though. So creative collaboration is there. You do have, you know, 5 people, 4 people, how many other people it is around you which you can collaborate with. The third pro is close friendships. So being in the band, obviously you're spending a lot of time each week with these people, assuming that you practice, you do gigs. Even if you're on a tour at this point, if you get to that level, you're going to be on a tour bus, potentially or hopefully. Wishing you guys obviously every success. So it's really important that you have the right people, but if you do have the right people, you have some really close friendships and bonds that can be built. But yeah, that's a massive pro, is obviously being able to spend lots of time around people that you obviously care about. And yeah, and then also, just to throw a little con in there because I'm a stooge, if you haven't got the right people in your life, you're gonna hate it, because there are, and I just swore, I'm going to beep that out. Yeah, anyway, on to the next point, guys, before I ramble. So, the other good thing, and this is point number 4. Point number 4, distributed workload. So, with being in a band, if, you know, you can say to one person, I want you to, or not I want you to, but one person can take on the socials, one person can take on handling, like, dealing with promoters and getting gigs and blah blah blah. One person can deal with the majority of the initial songwriting. If you've got like a singer who plays guitar, for example, or a drummer that likes to bring drum concepts to the band practice, or a guitarist that has like a loop they want to start a song with, it's absolutely open to everything, every possibility, and it's nice because you can delegate, or like not delegate, but you can kind of have everyone helping and chipping in rather than you trying to do all of these things yourself, which is something I really struggled with when I did the solo stuff. So being in the band, it's really handy to lean on your friends and your peers and your bandmates, whatever you want to call them. Point number 5 is you can focus on improving your craft, essentially. So if you're a singer, you can focus more on singing. If you're a drummer, you can literally solely practice drumming if you want to. You can kind of put your majority focus on your instrument so that you improve, you feel more confident when you play it live, etc, etc, etc. You get the point. You essentially can focus on improving your own stuff rather than having to pick up being a multi-instrumentalist and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, excuse me, got a cough. Anyway, that was 5 pros for the band side of things. Now we're going to move over to the solo artist side of things. Exciting. Now this is where I've had the most recent experience. So I haven't been doing the solo stuff for a few years, but obviously the majority of my music career, if you'd like, was a solo career. It was me releasing under my name, releasing videos and blah 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 blah. So naturally I've got a lot of pros and a lot of cons that I'd like to share, but these are the 5 pros which I think are the most crucial, and we are going to be following some similar themes as well. Pro number 1 for being a solo artist is you have more creative freedom and choice on direction. So essentially, being in a band, yes, you can collaborate with people, but what if someone doesn't like your idea? Or what if someone wants a different kind of style to you, doesn't want to go down the same direction in terms of sound, they don't like the electronic elements of a band, like, what bands are doing, they want to stick to, the possibilities are endless, is what I'm trying to say, guys. Whereas if you are a solo artist, what you say goes. So essentially, if you want to have like an acoustic song, or then like you decide a few weeks down the line, actually, do you know what, I want to be an EDM artist. I just swore again, I'm beeping that out. YouTube algorithm. Yeah, you can essentially choose what you want to do, guys. So that is really, really, really important. And yeah, essentially, that's probably one of my favourite things, has been able to not worry about having to be courteous to other people and really believing in what I feel. Yes, I do have collaboration with others, and you can collaborate with producers, you can get opinions of friends, other songwriters. So in reality, from my point of view, it might be me being biased, but I prefer it for that reason as well. So point number 2. So we kind of touched on this at the end of the 5 pros for the band stuff, but you can essentially switch it up. So it is a pro and a con in itself. So you do have to play more instruments if you're looking to record multiple things. However, you're not stuck to just playing one thing or just singing, for example. I picked up the drums at the start of the year, because I want to be a better drummer. So if I do look to get back in the studio to do solo stuff or be in a band, whatever I might choose to do, have that kind of tool or that weapon in my arsenal, if you like to say that. And yeah, it's just really nice because you can switch it up. Whereas some people just prefer, I don't want to mess around with all that stuff. I just want to do what I'm good at, and that's it. Depends on your personal preference. Point number 3, you are in control. So essentially, nobody can hold you back. So one of the cons to being in a band is, most people are motivated in a band, right? But you tend to, at some point, whether you have it in your first band, second band, whatever, or maybe you've had it in a band you're currently in and then you've got rid of them and whatever, I'm just going to say the point now, I like to ramble. You have that person that hasn't got the same drive, the same commitment, whether it's financially or in terms of energy, and you just don't move at the pace that you feel that you should be moving. You don't have that same kind of drive, and that's not on the same path, is what I'm trying to say. So with you, if you're a motivated individual, you are in control. You can literally do what you want. You can be like, I want to fucking put a tour together and I'm doing it in 2 weeks' time, happy days. That's realistically not going to work, but if you wanted to try that, you could try that. So disclaimer, don't try that. So point number 4. Now this one, I'm going to say it because typically it is correct, but there are instances where this isn't the case. So point number 4, easier to practice. So essentially, one of the things with being in a band, you have to work out when everyone's free. Are you free Sunday at this time? Oh no, I'm working. You know, this kind of stuff. With being a solo artist, typically, if you're practicing by yourself, you can practice whenever the fuck you want. Or if you if you have like one other person that helps you with an instrument, it's less people. However, from my experience as well, I did have a session band which formed of a drummer, a bassist, and a fellow guitarist. Now, there was still an element of trying to get people together, which I think is going to be a pro and a con for both sides of this video. However, I think the main thing that matters is finding the right people that have the same sort of availability or suitable availability that you can work with. I just wanted to throw that one in there, but typically, if you're a solo artist, you could practice a song on an acoustic. Worst case, couldn't you? Like if you wanted to learn the lyrics, or you wanted to practice hitting the notes, or whatever it might be from a singing point of view, or maybe like you perform with an instrument live, and you can practice in your own space, and you can kind of rely on the people that you're employing. In my case, it was mainly friends, so I did obviously pay for the practices and let them keep ticket money. However, I didn't pay them. It's a running joke. They hate me. Sorry, Dan and Ed and Reeve. Anyway, moving on. So, point number 5, and this is the final point for being a solo artist. And let's be honest, guys. If you're a solo artist, you're in the spotlight. You get the moolah. You get the chicks. You get the fucking... I don't even know. Basically, what I'm trying to say, guys, is... If you play bass, or you play drums, or you play guitar, whatever, in a band, and you've got a great voice, but because you're in a band, you don't really tend to use it, you're not getting that attention that you deserve. With being a solo artist, you're getting that attention you deserve. You are the centre of attention. You are the figure. You are the person that people are looking at on stage. The name sort of thing. You're the name on the t-shirt, you're the name on the album art. You are the artist. So many people are trying to do it. However, if you really do break through the majority, then like look at, for example, Youngblood, MGK, fucking just a couple examples from that kind of genre. Then obviously you got like more commercial artists like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, more recently Sabrina Carpenter. These are all solo artists, and they are huge, like huge. And if you imagine you getting that way all by yourself, you can't complain. Cool. So, look, before I ramble on anymore, guys, we're going to conclude. So, both are good, first of all. It really does depend on your preference, your financial situation, your availability, your kind of character, and how collaborative you can be, or whether you're more of like a... I don't mean this in the worst way, but like maybe you like more control, maybe you like to be the driver, you want to make sure that you get from A to B as efficiently and as great as possible. Maybe you like to lean on others and empower others to do things. This is my leadership talking now, guys. I do management roles. So anyway, I sound like such a dictator. Imagine being in a band with me, Christ. But yeah, first of all, the biggest thing to conclude on is you pay less in a band and you have more collaboration. So typically, yes, you can collaborate being a solo artist, but you have that immediate network of friends there, bandmates that you can lean on, and yeah, that there's no mystery about the cost, like we said. The biggest con, though, however, is more clashes in opinion, essentially. And then obviously you got the risk of disbanding. Like you could spend a year in this, like a project, for example, a band, and it doesn't work out, and then you have to start from scratch again. So that's the pros and cons to being in a band. Obviously, solo artist, you pay more. You do have the same kind of freedom with collaborating as well, and relying on producers and friends, and even if there's like people you play instruments with or jam with, just get opinions and stuff. Just always make sure that you ask, like if you do use something that was someone else's idea, just make sure that you ask that's okay, or you get permission. or if there's any credit needed, you know, you give them royalties through PRS or whatever, or if you're from America, like BIM or something like that. Cool. Then obviously you got less clashes of opinion, and you are your own driver essentially, which we've gone into. So for me personally, for the average person, assuming that you have the money to spend, and it is subjective, you can spend more or less, it doesn't really matter, you can do solo artist stuff with no money. I personally think being a solo artist is the way to go in this day and age. Not before. I think being in a band was the key thing, but now, do you know what, like, it's such a precious thing, a band. Like, you've got to get along with everyone, you've got to be on the same wavelength, everyone's got to be on the same path, and you see so many bands disbanding, fallouts and loss of friendships and all this sort of stuff. You know, there's only, I can count on one hand the people I'd be in a band with, out of everyone I know at the moment. So for example, like I said earlier, my friends Ed and Dan and Dave, you know, Reeve, there's another one I said. You know, those people I would be in a band with, but anyone else, I'm just like, no way. It's just not for me. So, look, weigh up yourself, like weigh up your finances, who you are, what kind of direction you want to take. Do people agree with that direction? And then really think to yourself, which path is best for me? So, yeah, without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's the first time I've done a video like this, where I've really put a lot of effort into the editing and stuff like that. Usually I just do a reaction video. Swore again, beeping it out. Obviously you heard that. So let me know in the comments what you thought to the editing. Show some love. If there's a point I didn't make, for example, let me know in the comments if you think there's a pro that I should have covered or a con I should have covered for either. That'd be really, really good. And then obviously we can work collaboratively, content creator to viewer, to provide YouTube. God, what am I doing? I need to stop swearing. Anyway, we can provide the knowledge and insights to the world. So help me help you. Help me, yeah. Help you help. My mind is blown. Right, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.